Treat your taste buds and bite into a Sydnor's chocolate egg and get egg-cited. Fresh coconut, real butter, whole milk, creamy peanut butter, and rich chocolate. At Sydnor's, we still use the original family recipe created by Annie Sydnor over 70 years ago. All our family products are made fresh locally and delivered daily. You'll find Sydnor's at these and other fine stores. So get ecstatic and try Sydnor's Chocolate Egg Experience. Sydnor's, making fine confections and making a difference.
Striking beauties now at the National Aquarium in Baltimore.
You're watching KYW3, live from Independence Mall. This is Eyewitness News.
The 11th hour fast approaching as SEPTA and the Transport Workers Union hold a marathon negotiating session. An agreement would avert a crippling transit strike.
And a man allegedly guns down his former girlfriend and her new lover. Police say jealousy may have sparked the double murder.
And a 4-mile-long column of fire trucks as hundreds of mourners escort a fallen firefighter to his final resting place.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Amy Caples.
I'm Brendan Brooks. We'll have those stories. Plus, a member of MOVE has died in prison.
And in our Eye on Health, the odd ways in which the human sense of smell works. That's all coming up next on Eyewitness News.
But first, I think I can smell some snow on the air. Meteorologist Rick Barrick with a preview of the KYW storm.
That's not a smell we've had to deal with a lot. Hi,
no,
Rick.
just when you thought we got the S word out of our vocabulary.
Exactly.
It's back, but not too badly today. We've got the chance of maybe some light snow later on this morning and early this afternoon. And as you can see, temperatures are pretty mild at this point, at least for snow. 39 degrees at the airport. We've got 41 degrees here at KYW. But some snow is falling north and west of town, and we could see just a little bit of snow here as the day progresses. But temperatures should be near 50 degrees by the end of the afternoon, and then it looks like colder air and some wind returns, this time not too long. We'll have details on the snow and the cold air, plus a forecast that may warm your spirits coming up in about 10 minutes. That's your latest forecast. It's time now to see how traffic is moving along this Saturday morning. Let's check in with John at the KYW Traffic Center for the latest. Hi, John.
Hi, Rick. Keep in mind that we do have the ongoing construction project on the Schuylkill Expressway. It lasts through the weekend. It is both ways, east and westbound, between Belmont and Girard. And essentially, you're looking at lane restrictions starting Friday evening, 8 p.m., all the way up to 5 a.m. Monday morning. So again, watch out for the construction ongoing, the Schuylkill Expressway. Now, let's take a peek into New Jersey. We are looking at Route 42. The headlights are showing you northbound volume, very light volume, and it is splitting off right to the Walt Whitman Bridge to the left, 676. No delays to report in this area. And we'll also take a look live at the start of the Vine Expressway, just off of I-95. As you can see from this shot, some very light volume headed down toward the center of your screen. That's westbound on the Vine Expressway, and it is very light and moving right along without delay. And once again, we'll check out the Jersey side of the Ben Franklin Bridge to show you that here, too, some very light volume headed into the Philadelphia area. Even at the Toll Booth Plaza, we remain in very good shape. Not much going on, and actually, that's what you'll find on the Walt Whitman Bridge as well. No problems on the bridges heading into the Philadelphia area. I-95 also checks out in very good shape. This is I-95 live at Bridge Street. As you can see, just light volume. That's the latest from the KYW Traffic Center.
Thank you, John. Well, it is going down to the wire. The contract for SEPTA, the Transport Workers Union, expires at midnight tonight. At this hour, both sides sit at the bargaining table after an all-night session.
Eyewitness News reporter Dick Standish joins us live now from the Wyndham Franklin Plaza Hotel with the very latest. Good morning, Dick.
Morning, Amy, Brandon. At this hour, the key question is this. Do the union leaders think it's to their advantage to extend, go perhaps 2 weeks and come up against the April 1st deadline of the Red Arrow division and have both out at the same time? Or do they feel, as they look at things through the day, that their biggest impact will indeed come tomorrow morning, Monday morning, Tuesday morning? For you and I, a couple of key questions here. One of them is simply whether, of course, we get to work school Monday morning. There is, however, though, also a long-term impact. The SEPTA system had been losing riders gradually for several years. Its biggest function remained, as it had been much of this century, to get people in and out of the center city area. However, in the past few months, more people have been taking the system. One key question here this morning is, if the union people walk and the riders find other ways to get to work and school, will they, the riders, ever come back?
And all we're trying to do is just reach out to our employees, Let them know our agenda is there's no hidden agenda here. It's on the table. We want to modernize the way we do business. We want to have the flexibility to do business a little differently.
John Leary, the GM of SEPTA. The union, of course, says it's one thing to modernize, it's another thing to do it out of my wallet. Now, at this hour, still to be resolved, many, many issues ranging from work rules, how people are assigned, what jobs they can be assigned, to the most fundamental of all, what they will be paid. But still early, if they can make some movement during the day towards an extension, if. We'll be standing by throughout the day, Eyewitness News, monitoring it very, very closely to see how it goes. For the moment, that is the story, live from the hotel, from the negotiations. We'll go back to you, Brandon and Amy.
Thank you, Dick.
All right, thanks, Dick.
Well, if there is a SEPTA strike, one alternative to driving is taking the regional rail system. And here's a look at the routes. The regional rail system covers just about the entire region from as far south as Newark, Delaware, covered by the R2, all the way north to Trenton, New Jersey on the R3 line. Here's a closer look at the R3 Media West Trenton line. Basically, it cuts a diagonal line right through the region. If you're coming in from the Trenton area, the R3 goes through Yardley and Rydell after heading through the Wayne Junction and Center City. The train continues to the Media Swarthmore area of Delaware County.
Eyewitness News will be there to help you if transit troubles hit at midnight tonight. Each day we'll give you more sure-shot alternative routes to get you where you need to go. If a strike happens, you can count on Eyewitness News for expanded live coverage with updates from the KYW Traffic Center, and we'll have the latest on the SEPTA negotiations.
And in other news this morning, an overnight shooting outside a Camden bar has left a man dead. We have Eyewitness News pictures of the scene outside the Time and Place Lounge. That's at Lewis and Chase Streets. The shooting happened just before midnight, and the victim died at the scene. So far, police have no suspects or no motive in that shooting. And a love triangle apparently to blame for a double murder in Upper Darby. Eyewitness News on the scene in the 7100 block of Seaford Avenue. That's where police say John Rightley of Broomall shot and killed 21-year-old Cynthia Harrison and 27-year-old Richard Warnick inside a home. Rightley allegedly shot Harrison when she answered his knock at the door. Then he allegedly went inside and shot Warnick, who was in bed. Police say Rightley and Harrison used to live together. One of the MOVE members convicted in the original MOVE confrontation in Philadelphia is dead. Merle Austin Africa died in prison in Crawford County yesterday. She apparently died of natural causes. Africa was serving a sentence of 30 to 100 years for killing policeman James Ramp in the 1978 shootout with police in the Powelton Village section of the city. 8 other MOVE members were convicted in the death of the police officer. Merle Austin Africa died after getting sick in her prison cell. She was 47 years old.
There were full honors given during farewell services for David Good, the volunteer firefighter killed in the line of duty this week. His widow and other relatives entered a Chester County church yesterday as fellow volunteer firefighters and paramedics stood in ranks outside. Good died back on Monday when a truck hit him and other rescue members working at an accident scene on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. His eldest son was overwhelmed by the show of support.
I found out last night that I finally found out how many people that loved him, been there for him. It felt good that I had a father that was loved like this. It feels real good in my heart.
After the funeral, a procession of 300 vehicles, including fire trucks, carried Dave Good to a cemetery nearby.
Well, some frightening moments for some Delaware youngsters on their way home from school. Their buses were involved in a chain reaction crash. Eyewitness News in Middletown, Newcastle County yesterday, shortly after the collision. Police say there was a bus in the southbound lane of the road letting students off. So in accordance with the law, the northbound buses stopped. Well, the third bus in line didn't stop in time, causing the pileup. Luckily, no major injuries. 33 kids from the Reading Intermediate School were taken to area hospitals and later released. And a scare inside one Delaware school. Some students were attacked with some sort of sharp object. At least 5 students who attend the George Kirk Middle School were poked with some kind of pointy object. Investigators tell Eyewitness News a fellow classmate is responsible. School officials haven't said just what that object was. However, the school has sent a letter urging parents of the children who were stuck to have them tested for HIV and hepatitis B.
A rare public hearing Friday marked one of the final steps in the proposed merger of core states. And first,
Well, today is going to be a raw, wintry day for those of you in the Northeast. We've got an Alberta clipper, which is spreading light to moderate snow across much of the region. Good morning and welcome to Weather Center. I'm Rick Griffin.
And I'm Will Lannon. We'll get a report from a Weather Channel crew on location in Portland, Maine in just a moment. But first, a few details about the storm. I'll show you what it looks like on the satellite picture right now. Spinning about, and it's beginning to roll rapidly on towards the east right now, as you can clearly see, across much of eastern New York State and Pennsylvania, heading right towards western Maine, where the snow should begin within the next hour or two. I'll show you where the area low pressure is at the present time. It's really beginning to haul at the present time off towards the east. And look at the wind field around it as well. Strong winds from the south ahead of it. That will mix some of that snow with rain around New York City up towards Boston initially on, and behind the storm system, well, in its wake, strong northwesterly winds, and that is going to be coming back into the northeastern part of the country by early morning tomorrow. That's going to lower your temperatures. The wind chills are going to go down in a hurry as well. So again, you're back to winter-like conditions by early morning tomorrow. This is the scene right now. This is Maine. We're going to go just about right around Portland here in just a little bit. But the main band of snow right now just beginning to exit and beginning to leave, or beginning to enter the western parts of Vermont and western Mass at the present time, on its way into western and southeastern parts of the state of Maine in just a couple of more hours. Here's a look at the snowfall throughout much of New York State, including the Thruway down into Pennsylvania, beginning to let up now over northeastern Ohio around Youngstown, and you can clearly see the snow is on the way for the northeast. Some spots locally, anywhere between 3, 4, 5, or 6 inches from eastern sections of New York State into central Maine. Well, standing by right now in Portland, Maine, is Jim Cantori, the snowman. Jim, give us the latest.
Hey, good morning to you, Wilbur. That's how they say it up here in Portland. Anyway, here we are in the old port area, and you can look down this old cobblestone street. This is a huge area, by the way, especially at night for a lot of party goers. Just up on 4th Street there's a lot of brew pubs, and they were hopping last night when we got here, let me tell you. All in all, it's been a snowless couple of months here in Portland. They only had about a trace of snow last month, which was the 3rd least snowiest February on record. They've only had a trace so far, so snow has not been something that we've seen so far this year. But the prospects of it has a few folks smiling this morning, even though we haven't seen many of them, because they're intelligent. They're back in bed right now, which is where we'd like to be. But anyway, all in all, we do have the snow moving in, as you mentioned, Will, this afternoon. Snow advisories, or excuse me, winter weather advisories posted upstate toward Gray, Auburn, Lewiston, that area, which is inland. But here we may change over to rain, given the fact that we have a south wind coming off the water. It's about 27 degrees here this morning. Wind's a little brisk, so we got a wind chill factor, Will, but we're bundled up and ready to handle it, as they say here in the Pine Tree State. Back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jim. Looks like you will be looking at a good deal of snowfall come this afternoon, and those blustery winds from the northwest by early morning tomorrow. Take a look at what's happening right now for the northeastern part of the country, your snowy travel. We can find some more in southwestern lower Michigan, all the way from Kalamazoo, Muskegon, up towards Traverse City. Snow showers are coming down here, and in the wake of that storm center, look at those tightly packed isobars. Temperatures are beginning to drop, and so is the wind chill, which is down to 13 below at Fargo and Minneapolis, St. Paul, 3 above, but still dropping around Chicago. That's the latest right now and what's happening throughout the Northeast and the Midwest. On the rest of the nation, we're going to cover that right now in the South and also your forecast. Let's go to Rick.
Thanks, Will. After 3 days in the deep freeze, good news for the southern states. Your readings will be considerably warmer today and just in time for the weekend. Let's get a look at what's happening right now. Well, instead of 20s, it's 40 in Atlanta, Georgia this morning, and 38 in Charleston, West Virginia. You were 22 at this time on Friday morning. Still frosty, a little bit so. Jacksonville and Cecil Field outside Jacksonville, 29 right now. The same for Crestview in North Florida. So actually this morning, the coldest readings are right across the northern section of the Sunshine State. It is a little frosty right along the I-10 corridor through here. That's where the center of the high pressure system is located, and the best radiational cooling has taken place overnight. But once the sun comes off the horizon, it's going to be a very nice day in Florida and much of the southeast, as you will see in just a moment. Now, on the western edge of the high, there's moisture returning into Texas. It's raining now in Jasper, in Houston. Also over into Louisiana, you've got some rain around Lake Charles and closing in on Alexandria in the southwest corner of the state. As we take a look at radar, we can see the precipitation on the increase, and really this is just a sign of things to come, because we do expect that Sunday will be much wetter in Texas and the southern plains. There may be severe storms in the southern half of the state. In contrast, there could be a wintry mix for those of you in the panhandle. So Sunday could be a very interesting weather day right here in the south central part of the nation. Valley rain and mountain snow beginning to develop in New Mexico too. All right, here's the big picture. We've got the highlights for you. This is the forecast. And the forecast as we begin shows the fast-moving Alberta Clipper moving through the northeast. Because it's a rapid mover, snow amounts, as Will showed you, mainly in the 2 to 6 inch range. For Boston.